Las Vegas Coin Company buys and sells coins, jewelry, and collectibles, and we all know coins and jewelry when we see them. But what do we think about when we hear about collectibles? Well, all the toys we have here on the counter today are examples of valuable collectibles that Las Vegas Coin Company buys and sells, and makes me a little bit excited, to be honest, too. Now, collectibles buyer Scott DeLorge is here to share his insights on this fun category, and this is a fun category. This is your job, man. This is what you do for a living.
It is. Now, this is a great example where some people do come in and say, oh, you must have fun here. Not every day. It's still work, but this is fun. This is fun.
I'd love to come and work and play with toys every day.
This is good. This is a lot of memories. This is a lot of emotions. This is just a lot of fun. I agree.
So we were talking, or I was talking at the top of the show about some of the kind of toys, vintage toys that have gone up for auction and fetched in excess of 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. And you have some examples here of things that might be collecting dust in people's kids' bedrooms, their own keepsakes. So what kind of things would you like to point out here that may be of interest to people?
Absolutely. Well, just as you mentioned, some of the stuff such as G.I. Joe, this is vintage stuff. This is stuff 70s, the box. This is stuff from the 80s. These are not only things that could be, but this was sitting in somebody's closet. This came in from a client that had them put away. He just never got around to, kind of got to that older age, and he had them sitting there for literally decades. So he brought them on in. We were able to assess them, evaluate them, and give them a good fair price for it. Now when those get graded, which I've graded a few, then they get to those crazy auction numbers you were talking about. The Star Wars toys, the G.I. Joe toys, those old vintage pieces that are just iconic for everybody, whether you're into it or not. It's just so recognizable. There's just a huge market base for it.
Is there certain criteria to hit to get those valuable prices? You know, I think I've heard and been told a number of times, toys in packaging is like a big starting point for anything. So that increases the value. What other things are you looking for when you're looking to purchase?
Well, sure, without a doubt, and that's a great focus for today, the box. The box is such an integral part of value. It's the display, it's the memories, but it also keeps that item mint. That's the other major factor. If your toy is loose, there's still a chance there's good value, but it better be mint, it better be not too damaged. That's where the box comes into play. Sealed or mint in box is just the apex of a collectible. Now you know inside of there it's never been played with or messed around with or damaged. So that's going to be your next factor, and that's where grading will come in, if you get to a really high value. But the condition is going to be a factor, the rarity. So if you get to a modern toy that they're just putting too many out on the shelf, that might not be collectible even though it's mint in its box. So what we have here is things that are 4 and 5 decades old and still in their box. That box being that old was just unheard of keeping back in the day.
So we're talking about, you briefly touched upon mass-produced modern toys. One thing that I'm guessing would be an idea if you're thinking about collectibles, then buy 2 if you want to play with one. Correct. One to play with, one to keep in the box. Do you know of, or do you have any insight into what toys are out right now that could potentially, not putting you on the spot saying will, that could be valuable in the future? Is there is there any criteria you have to hit, like, a landmark or something that's connected to something significant in historical terms?
There's 2 things. There's 2 things I'd recommend. First is something that's the first inception of it. So we're not seeing a sequel, we're not seeing something that's been relaunched. Something that is new, like maybe a movie's out, something that you've never really heard of, grab that first one. Grab the one that maybe it's off the radar. Certainly get 2 if you think you're going to open or play with it. But the other thing I'd avoid is the ones that claim to be limited or collectible without a number. You're going to see that many a times as limited edition, collectible, and right on the packaging. That makes everybody hoard it away and everybody grab and say, I better collect this. You want that little diamond in the rough that might be sitting sometimes even on a discount shelf. You'll see it many times. I see things that still have their price tags, like the Dinky toys, the G.I. Joes. They're down to $1.95 because nobody really wanted them. Nobody was collecting them. So you might find it in actually the sale bin. You might find it in the discounted part. And you can go there and hunt these things so cheap that the risk reward is just huge.
Now, you guys at Las Vegas Coin Company always say go and see other people first and come and see you last. I'm sure there are people with toys watching this right now like, oh man, I got to go and see this guy. How do they get in touch with you? Where do they go and visit you? What's the best place to come and make an appointment?
Sure, they can call. There's the information on the screen and call us, set up an appointment to come on down, check out our website with some other videos. It's a great point. People will say, what are you looking for? What do you buy? We buy quite a wide variety. Everybody knows we're getting coins and jewelry and collectibles. but we do take in these toys. You can come on down, check out some
All
other
right.
places, and come to us last.
We got to go, but we're going to talk about these toys in the break. For more information, head to LasVegasCoinCompany.com.